All right, so buckle up, because today we're taking a deep dive into something pretty wild. We're talking Trump meme cards,
Yeah.
digital collectibles with artwork of Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah. Riding that T-Rex, blasting off into space.
It's a whole thing. And we're going to try to figure out what that thing is using just their website, gettrumpmemes.com, because that's where all the info is.
Right off the bat, the thing that jumps out at me is that this isn't your typical NFT situation. They're very clear that these cards are not an investment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the whole website hammers home this idea that it's about supporting ideals and beliefs. It's almost like they're trying to head off any issues with securities regulations.
Interesting strategy. So we're going deep into their website, trying to unpack what these Trump meme cards really are all about. It's this weird mix of internet culture, politics, and cryptocurrency all at once.
And that last part, the cryptocurrency part, that's where things get really interesting. These cards are minted on the Solana blockchain. Yeah. Solana. It's known for being fast and having low transaction fees. But it's also had some, technical problems in the past.
So there's some risk involved.
For sure.
Yeah.
Choosing Solana adds another layer of complexity to all of this.
It makes you wonder, how long will these cards actually be around? Especially since their website says they can't guarantee that the cards will work, or be reliable, or even exist in the future.
Right.
So they're pushing this idea of community and shared beliefs. But at the same time, they're admitting that the technology behind it is risky.
It's a strange mix. And speaking of community, they're really emphasizing this Trump meme community angle.
Yeah, I saw that on the website.
They have a whole mission statement about it, talking about fighting for what matters, making the world a better place. It's pretty strong language.
Definitely. It feels like they're going for something deeper than just, collecting digital cards.
Yeah.
It's like a digital fan club.
Yeah.
But with the possibility of making money, which, of course, they keep saying isn't the point.
Exactly. It's this constant back and forth. They want to make it seem meaningful, like a movement. But then there's this undeniable possibility of profit. And the ownership structure is really interesting. CIC Digital, an affiliate of the Trump Organization,
Wait.
and Fight LLC, the company behind the website. They own 80% of the cards together.
80%? That's a huge chunk.
Yeah. And there's a 3-year unlocking schedule.
Hold on, unlocking schedule. What does that even mean?
That's the big question. Are they trying to slowly release control of the cards, or maybe manage how much the price changes? Or is something else going on entirely?
It definitely raises questions about how involved the Trump Organization is and what their plan is for the long term. And what about Trump himself? How much control does he actually have over all of this? Let's be real. The website might say these cards aren't political, but the pictures, the words, it's all very clearly connected to Trump and his brand of politics.
I agree. They can try to distance themselves from the politics of it, but it's pretty clear who they're targeting with these cards. It's a clever way to market to an existing online community and tap into those feelings, especially with that fight slogan they've got everywhere.
Right. That comes directly from that viral meme of Trump, raising his fist back when he was facing all those legal challenges in July 2024. They're using that powerful image on purpose and all the emotions that go with it.
It's a strong combination, especially with how things are politically right now. This feeling of defiance of us versus them, they're channeling that straight into these digital collectibles. It's a powerful way to get a dedicated fan base energized and spending money.
So we've got this strange mix of memes, politics, cryptocurrency, and community building. But what does it all mean?
That's what we're trying to figure out. Are Trump meme cards just a passing trend, a quick way to make some cash, or are they a sign of something bigger, a new way of doing politics, powered by digital assets and online communities?
I guess we'll have to keep digging into the website to see what they say, what kind of technology they're using, and try to understand what this all means.
And we want you, the listener, to come along with us. What are your thoughts on all of this? What questions do you have? Keep thinking about those as we go deeper into this. It's like they're building a digital nation with its own currency, its own values, its own leader, all in digital form.
And it's more than just being a fan. They want people to really get involved. The website is full of calls to action, like join the movement, share your memes, spread the word.
It's interesting how they use online communities to get their message out there. And they're not just trying to reach people who already support Trump. They want to bring in new people too.
Yeah, they make it really easy to join in. They have instructions for buying cards with cryptocurrency, but you can also use a debit card.
That's smart. That makes it a lot easier for people who aren't into cryptocurrency.
Makes sense. But even with the debit card option, You still have to go through all those KYCML procedures.
Oh, right. Know your customer and anti-money laundering checks.
Yeah.
But that's because they're using a service called MoonPay to handle all the money transactions. Fiat currency, cryptocurrency, all of that. And MoonPay has to follow regulations, just like any other financial platform.
So even though they're trying to make it easy to buy these cards, they're still doing everything by the book, legally speaking.
Exactly. They're walking a fine line, trying to appeal to a lot of people, while also navigating all those complicated laws about digital assets.
That's a tricky situation. And they're not hiding the risks involved. They've got disclaimers everywhere.
Yeah, emphasizing that users are responsible, that they need to follow the law.
Right. And there's even a class action waiver.
They're definitely trying to protect themselves legally, but for you, the listener, it's important to understand what you're agreeing to. When you use this platform, don't just click through those terms and conditions. Read them carefully.
Good advice. It's a reminder that even in this world of meme cards, there are real-world consequences. Speaking of consequences, what about the impact of this Trump meme community? Could it become a place for extremism or misinformation?
That's a valid concern. Any online community can be vulnerable to that, especially one built around someone as polarizing as Donald Trump.
And the language on the website doesn't help. They talk about fighting for what matters and making the world a better place. But those phrases can be interpreted in a lot of different ways.
You're right. It's all open to interpretation, which can be good and bad. It lets people see what they want to see in the community without having to conform to strict beliefs.
So it's hard to say how the community will change over time. Will it be a force for good, or will it become something dangerous?
Only time will tell. But it's definitely something worth watching. We're seeing technology, politics, and online communities intersect in a way we've never seen before.
And it raises so many questions about how we'll do politics in the future, about the power of memes, and about the risks and rewards of building online communities around divisive figures.
It's a fascinating case study, one that we'll keep following.
Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty of the website, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. What do these Trump meme cards tell us about our society today?
Well, they definitely show how influential digital culture and online communities have become. We're spending more and more time online, and our digital identities are becoming a bigger part of who we are in the real world.
And it shows how easily these online spaces can be used for political purposes through memes, social media campaigns, or digital collectibles like these Trump meme cards. Political figures are finding new ways to connect with voters and build support.
And it's not just politics. We're seeing it in entertainment, sports, even art. Digital assets are becoming more and more popular, and they're changing how we interact with the things we value and the communities we belong to.
It's like we're entering a new era of digital ownership, where the line between the physical and the virtual is getting blurry.
And that brings up all sorts of questions about the future of ownership, identity, and community. What does it even mean to own something digital? How do our online selves shape who we are in real life? And how do we build meaningful communities in a world that's increasingly digital?
Those are big questions.
Yeah.
And there are no easy answers. But one thing's for sure, we need to start talking about these things now, because the digital revolution is here to stay.
It's a wild world out there right now, and it feels like we're making up the rules as we go. But let's get back to these Trump meme cards. The website itself is pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, it's like a snapshot of internet culture and political messaging, and maybe even a little bit of wishful thinking. They have this whole section about how to buy. It walks you through the process step by step, like you're putting together furniture from IKEA.
And they don't shy away from the technical stuff. They even suggest using the Phantom Wallet, which is kind of strange because it needs a Google Chrome extension if you're on a desktop. You'd think they'd want something simpler, especially if they're trying to reach a lot of people.
Maybe they think everyone interested in Trump meme cards already knows about cryptocurrency and all the complicated stuff.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just haven't made a desktop app yet.
It's hard to say, but it does make you wonder who they're targeting. Do they think everyone's a crypto expert? Or are they trying to bring in new people who like collecting digital stuff?
And then there's this whole thing about Moonshot. You say it's the easiest way to get these Trump memes.
Moonshot. It's basically a platform just for buying and selling Trump meme cards. You sign up with your email, put in some money. They have options like Apple Pay, debit cards, even Venmo, or Solana and USDC, and boom, you've got yourself a Trump.
It's pretty straightforward. But doesn't that make it less appealing to some people? If they're only focusing on Trump meme cards, aren't they missing out on a bigger market of digital collectors?
That's a good point. It's a risk they're taking. They're betting that the hardcore fans, the diehards, will be enough to make this niche market work.
But what happens when the excitement dies down? Will these cards still be worth anything? Or will they just be forgotten digital junk?
That's the question with any collectible, digital or physical. It all comes down to scarcity, demand, and a bit of luck.
Speaking of luck, they have a whole section on their website called Important Disclosures, where they basically say, hey, this is gambling. Don't get mad at us if you lose all your money.
Yeah, they're definitely protecting themselves legally. But it also shows how unpredictable this market is. These cards are built on technology that's still pretty new and untested.
It's a wild ride. But even with all the risks and uncertainty, there's something really interesting about these Trump meme cards.
I agree. It's like a sneak peek into the future of fandom, politics, and digital ownership. Whether you like it or not, it's definitely having an impact.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the big takeaway for our listeners? What should they be thinking about as they explore this new world of digital assets and online communities?
I think the most important thing is to be informed. Do your research, understand the risks, and don't invest more money than you can afford to lose. And maybe, most importantly, think critically about the messages you see, the communities that are being built, and what these new technologies might mean for the future.
Because it's not just about the cards themselves, it's about what they represent. A change in how we interact with the world, our leaders, and each other. And that's a conversation worth having. Whether you're into cryptocurrency or just curious about all this.
Definitely. This is just the beginning of something much bigger. And we'll be here to help you make sense of it all.
So until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep exploring this ever-changing digital world.